What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another video here on the Pool Focus Podcast. I'm Quentin, and today's guest is an amazing filmmaker that's originally from Charleston, West Virginia, but now he has been working in Los Angeles, California. So without further ado, please welcome Mr. Jonah Dyer.
Hello, I'm here, finally in the flesh, fresh off a flight. I've been here probably about a month, straight from Los Angeles for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Craziest 3 years of my life. I mean, everything about it was just fast paced.
Yeah.
It's just, you pretty much just remember the summers. That's how I pretty much just I remember what we did summer 2021. That's when I moved out there, was during a little bit, still kind of during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was still on the up and up with the film industry and everything like that. But yeah, so immediately, that was a thing. Still, masks was everywhere, mask on the flight and everything like that. But yeah, it kind of did put a little kind of strain on the film industry because people just didn't know what was happening and everything kind of what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so there were still kind of things going on, but of course you had the masks mandate and everything like that. So immediately, I think I landed at 12 a.m. their time. So that was immediately Pacific, I believe. So I landed at 12 Pacific, and it immediately tripped me out because I just came from Eastern.
Yeah.
So to just go and fly and land at 12 Pacific, now everything's messed up.
Was that the first time you ever flew?
First time I ever been on a flight too. So
I had a destination wedding a couple years ago, and it was in Hawaii. So I had to go from Charleston to Chicago to LA, then LA to Hawaii. So
wow.
Yeah, so talking about I jumped right into the deep end on my first flight, and I was like, oh yeah, this is great. But on the way back, I mean, it was a 22-hour flight on the way back, an 18-hour flight on the way there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But
I loved it though. It wasn't. I was just glued to the window because I loved the window seat and just I wanted to look outside, and I don't know, that was interesting to me and stuff.
No, that was my thing too. Yeah. I actually I don't know if you're supposed to do this, but on my first flight, I took my camera bag as my personal.
That's exactly what I did. I didn't trust him because I was like, ain't no way that you are gonna this is leaving my sight.
No, I've seen how they tote them out there on the window. That's exactly why I look out there. But I as soon as I saw the sunset, and this is mid-flight, I just took off my camera bag and just got together my gear and just shot a whole little video right there, and just because there was I want to say 5 people on the flight, and so I just literally just set up my gear and just shot a little 30-second little video out there, and it was beautiful, man. But yeah, that was my first experience on a plane too.
Yeah. So you're originally from Charleston, and
Yes, sir.
You went out to LA, and so I looked up most of your work, and dude, you are just all over the place with talent, in my opinion.
I appreciate it, man.
You're killing it, and the great thing is you're young too.
I am 22.
That's insane.
22 years old.
Because
yes, sir.
dude, what I knew just 5 years ago compared to what I know now is I know if you're on that same path, it's going to be take you half the time, and you're going to be oh, it's so cool. As soon as I saw it, and some of the people that recommended me to reach out to you, they was yeah, this guy's he's got it and stuff. I was like, all right, let's do it and stuff. And that's where I sent the DM and stuff, and just to connect, because there's a different type of genre of photographers, videographers in West Virginia, and what you kind of do is something that you don't see very often. I feel like there's a very select few and stuff. So you're 22. Did you ever? Did you go to college? Did you do any?
No college. No college. Okay. Decided that very early, actually.
Yeah.
That college was not going to be the plan for me. So, yeah, no college for me.
Yeah.
And just kind of because I figured out that what specifically I wanted to do at that time wasn't really in the college that was around me.
Yeah.
And I mean, film school is terribly expensive.
Yeah.
To this day. So yeah, no college for me.
No, I don't blame you on something like that too. I feel like, because I mean I went to college, but that's how I kind of learned photography. But it was an elective, so it wasn't even like a priority within any of my major and anything like that. And I ended up loving it so much. I was more frustrated because I was about to graduate, have my degree, and knowing that I wasn't going to use what my 4-year degree was for, you know what I mean? So I think it's just like, but you're absolutely right about film school and just art school in general. Like if you just wanted to go into something, like it's really insane. I have a buddy that he was actually in some of the art classes that I was in, and he left and he went down to Miami, and now he's like he's doing like audio producing and everything like that.
It just happens like that.
He just has
somehow.
to go. You know,
It just happens.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, if you're just in those spaces, something, and you're just, you got the right mindset,
right.
stuff like that just happens. If you really do decide that college isn't your thing. Now, if your interest is portrait photography or photojournalism, college has all the funds. I mean, college has all the tools
Right.
and equipment you need to be in that space, and that just makes perfect sense. But what I wanted to do specifically just didn't. It wasn't an elective even in college,
Yeah.
and to be honest, I didn't even really do well in school, so I didn't even. Yeah, no, I erased that off my memory quick.
I feel you. Yeah, that's it's very interesting though, because we was talking just before we was recording. We was talking about, you know, finding just that community. Do you feel like you have more of a community in LA with your skill set than you would like if you was in like a smaller area?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. More resources, you said?
More just like people like within like the community to like give you critiques and give you advice and be like, okay, this is how you do this and so forth. And
Yeah, I think so, because I just like jumped right into like the bubble where everyone is trying to create.
Yeah.
You know, you go up to somebody in LA and they ask you, what do you do? And that's just a normal thing. Oh,
Yeah.
photographer. Oh, and then my friend does needs a wedding and everything like that. Just the whole connection happens there so quickly. So I'm kind of jaded to only that and just nothing.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, and it's an interesting conundrum.
Yeah. That's I definitely never thought of it in that way and stuff. So you do with your filmmaking, what's like one of your favorite parts of it? Do you like more the directing side of it, or the actual hands-on editing, or filming, or is it just like a combination of everything?
Yeah, no, I'd love to finally get into it. So as I was saying, I like to say that I'm a camera geek at heart. Like I love cameras. I really do love and understand vision and understand perspective and understand composition. Lighting, I'm still working on, but you know what I'm saying? Like you have to have crazy expensive equipment to understand lighting. But cinematography is lighting.
Yeah.
That is the key front of lighting. So I am working on lighting and everything like that. But like I said, I am a camera geek at heart. I think more in my like adult years, more of like maybe even acting roles maybe will appear as an interest in my life. But yeah, I just think mainly just camera guy, like camera op, maybe even director of photography.
Yeah.
I've done it for a shoot, but yeah, no, that's where I lie.
Yeah. I think I've went through phases of especially like my stuff is I went through and I liked editing at the beginning of it. Now I'm starting to like shooting and the directing part of it. I like setting it up, scene to scene, I'll capture it, and then I'm just like, okay, I know that can be edited like really well later.
Yeah.
That hypes me up more than like trying to like, okay, how can I fix this? Like I don't want to like fix something. I want to do everything right there on set. That way it's just like, no, that shot is good. I know it's good because I just shot it good. You know what I mean? And the older I don't know, that's just like the older I get and just like trying to find more time, because before I would like sit down and I would spend hours just trying to figure out. I was like, man, how do I make like? I think it's like comparing yourself to other artists and stuff too, where that comes into play. But now I'm just like, no, I know that's good. I just shot that good, so you kind of give that different like type of like confidence on it.
Right.
But I mean, that's when I was talking to a couple other guests as well. Is that the lighting aspect of it? I've never used a strobe. I've never used any type of lights before. So it's like I'm a natural light photographer and videographer. So like if that ever came around, I wouldn't even know where to begin. You know.
Right.
So
No, I've actually never heard that. That makes complete sense now, because like I do find that like I can find the right tones and everything in natural light. Like I work a lot in daylight and have to, deal with everything like that. So no, that's an interesting, actually you just put me on to that. Like that's actually what I do.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's just, I don't know. It's for me, if I have all the set, like the location and everything in place, I know that the tech side of it, I can get my tool to capture something well,
Right.
But it's like when it's a cloudy, I just did like a YouTube video about I shot a girl whenever it was cloudy, and I still wanted to be like, okay, this is how you do your tones, this is how you do this, because I think it's just as important. You can still get a really cool portrait, whether it's moody, whether it's just like, you don't have to like go crazy with the vibrance and crazy with the saturation or anything like that. It just like, do what you're doing, just now think of it in a different exposure and stuff. And because the thing is, like on a cloudy day, you're looking at it like a giant softbox,
Oh, every time.
So you're just like, okay, like how do you change this and stuff. So I think that's what's like really cool and interesting about just creating, because even though like we have golden hours, we have, great light some days, it's different every single day.
Every time.
And it's like, the earth is changing, like the seasons change. I mean, golden hour in wintertime is 3:00 compared to in the summertime when it's like 7:30, 8:00,
Mm-hmm.
So you're just like constantly telling your clients, constantly telling people, oh yeah, we got to schedule this time, and you're just like rolling with it and stuff. So, but yeah, that's very, very interesting. Let me check this real quick. I just want to make sure. Oh my gosh, that was 12 minutes already. So you was talking about being like a camera geek and everything. What's some of your favorite gear to like work with?
Oh man, I'd say my favorite is my own.
Yeah.
Because I've been with my camera for about 4 years now. It was my first like actual, like, okay, I can make money with this camera.
Yeah.
And so that's like, I've just held on to it because honestly, everything that I've shot, everything that has 250,000 views on it is from that camera.
Yeah.
And so I don't plan to upgrade unless it's crazy.
Right.
But yeah, I'd say that's at first that's my favorite. But I mean, I've gotten to use the Red cameras and all of their lines and everything like that. It's a very intimidating camera at first because you're like,
that's a very, very great way to put
it. It's extremely intimidating because it's so huge at first, but I mean it breaks down because it's just like a brain. Mm-hmm. At first, and you can like have so many different configurations, but like I learned just like 2 months ago, it's just a cinema camera, just like it just has shutter, and it just you just adjust the white balance, and everything's kind of just like a camera, but it is so intimidating at first because it just, you see it on massive rigs and everything like that, but it just breaks down to a small little brain.
Isn't I think their biggest pro with those cameras is the fact that they shoot in the raw format so well that you can like, doesn't matter what you color grade, like you can put your own spin to it no matter what.
Absolutely.
Like, you have so much, it captures so much detail and stuff in it. I edited a lot of film from a few years ago. I worked at West Virginia Tourism for about 3.5, 4 years, and we would get film from a third party. They would go out on location, they would film it, and then I would edit everything like in house and everything. And they would get these files, and I'm just like, man, I don't know what the color grading is and stuff. So then a third party would color grade everything, give us all the LUTs and all the presets and everything like that, and then I would just like drop those onto it that matched our brand. So it was just like you had 3 people kind of like editing like a 30-second video for a major brand. It was insane.
Wow.
That kind of like opened up my eyes about how brand work and just it's not just one person out there shooting, where I think a lot of people think is like, oh, that's a great like if you ask my mom, my mom would have thought that I shot every single photo in the tourism guide, and I said no, that's I didn't even shoot one, like I didn't even do anything, like, but we still had a part of it through the editing, through the editorials and all that stuff,
right.
And by the end of it, there's so many people that's involved in it, you feel like it's part of you and stuff too. So
that's a big thing. It's a big thing. Like that's what I also learned in LA. Like, because again, I jumped from pretty much me doing, the concept, pre-concept to actually shooting it, which would usually just be myself, just going out and just making random videos. But then just doing that to take it back to editing. But then I just jumped from that environment to every single thing that you can see on the screen, someone has a job doing it. Like every person has a job. The set designer, the PA. I mean, I'm just naming a few, but there are some crazy, just like very specific jobs that people do, and it just like, I guess that's like the greatness of it, is that everybody comes together. Everybody comes together and just like makes this dope art. Like I've seen some crazy dope art being made there, but it definitely all takes a collective.
Well, that's like I always appreciate when when people are winning awards and things like that. Like they'll shout out very specific roles that they would have never gotten a platform and stuff before, and it's like, the greatest cinematographers in the world, they can't be no one if they don't have a great audio with it, because it just like it puts so much emotion and is the only way enjoyable to watch something. Like imagine like having the greatest shot in the world, but the music doesn't match at all. Like it just, you cannot connect to it.
Right.
And so like it is very much of a team effort. And I think for like smaller creatives, they really don't realize that until they are like on set. They might have like the perfect model, they might have the perfect location, and they're just like, for me, I get like kind of like overwhelmed in a sense. I'm like, okay, I have everything I need. What do I need to do like first in a sense?
Right.
Because I don't want to mess it up because I have everything I need. Does that make sense? Like,
that's exactly why I was like, I was grateful to be eased into it, because I was BTS. I was the BTS cameraman for like the first, I would say like 8 months that I was in LA. That I was just capturing behind the scenes of all the craziness I got to experience around me. And that got me in the door where it wasn't, and not to just like, throw shade or anything, but just, I didn't want to go the PA route, which is more just assistant work. I just knew personally I'm not I'm not great at assistant work.
Right.
So I think me going in as a BTS videographer, I was able to get my edit, which people actually didn't realize. Oh, that perspective people actually really want to see now, like the actual, like everybody coming together and making a dope project. Yeah. And so I think I just got to ease in by just getting to see the camera department, to see the lighting department, to see the set design department, and everything like that, just to come together and just make one cohesive piece of art. Yeah,
that's so cool. It's just another reminder of, I think, people. There's so many things in the world and stuff. Not only just like art, but like there's so many things that people they're just not aware of.
Right.
And it's just like, we go to the movies, we pay, I don't know, $8-9 for a ticket. We sit there, we eat popcorn, we enjoy the experience, we walk right out, and we just go back to our day-to-day life. When we just watch somebody that spent like, up to a year working nonstop, you know what I mean? And you're just like, they do it because obviously they want to share that art, and that's what they enjoy and stuff. But it also is like, I want to be somebody that just like kind of like questions you know, like everyone's saying like, oh, why did he shoot it like that, or
Mm-hmm.
why, you know? And in West Virginia, why goes pretty far. You know,
Right.
you don't have to. Like I've done stuff where people, it's just like, oh, that's interesting, when you know that gears are like working, and you're just like, they may not understand it, but they're still like open minded because they know who I am and stuff.
Right.
I'm just like, we need to just to have more of that. You know, like I love my portrait work probably more than anything else, but they don't pay the bills. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like I do weddings, but I also want to like make it into my own style, and I want to be like a cookie cutter type. Um, and you know, like my editing can like change some of the way that people just like view a simple shot. But if I edit it a lot different, you know, it goes from cookie cutter to, you know, emotional, you know, and very quick, you
Dude,
know.
I feel you.
All right, so with the filmmaking, and along with have you seen like professionals and stuff that you think that your work is like pretty much a reflection of, or you're trying to like not mimic, or but inspired by, in a sense? Like, is there anybody that you're just like, you want to shoot like them when it comes to bigger type of films and everything like that?
Yeah,
I probably
think
wasn't the best way of trying to ask that,
no,
but
you're good. I got you.
yeah.
I think when I went out there, like, well, the preconception was, I want to film the next Marvel movie. I used to say that,
Yeah.
and just whatever means that, I just used to say that statement.
Yeah.
But I just didn't realize going there, I had my own kind of way of filming, and my own vision and everything like that. But I just didn't realize when I went how much of a collective and everything ends up being, and how much of
And you're also talking about one of the largest studios in like Marvel.
right, yeah, yeah.
So it's just like,
I mean, that was literally
yeah.
down the street from me.
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy. But yeah, I just didn't realize how big those productions actually end up being, and how big the vision and everybody comes together. And that's the biggest thing I learned. So yeah, I think I came in with my own vision in a sense, like how I like to film and everything like
Right.
that. But I got to experience and just like open up, because I was a pretty introverted person. But I mean, yeah, just going straight to LA. In any sense, if you want to survive, you have to be a people person. You have to be able to communicate in rooms, and
Yeah.
and ask for favors, and ask for things that you may not used to ask for, and people will, respect you and everything like that. And so that's the biggest thing I learned, was just like I had to do like a 180 flip on just like learning how to just assert what I do in my filmmaking, and just like them being able to understand my vision.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you kind of made a great point there, talking about like just asking for favors. I don't think a lot of people understand the power of just like, especially in our society now, is that people they think it's not as, I don't know, it's like weak if they ask for help, you know, on a lot of stuff. So like, but I mean, that's how I'm doing this podcast. I just asked Megan, which, by the way, this podcast is sponsored by Megan Nicole Photography. This is her
Shout out.
studio, so I got to put a plug in there every now and then. I always forget, but yeah, I just asked her, and she was like, "Oh no, I think it's a great idea," and stuff. Now, the conversation could have been like went a lot worse, but it's still, I could have been just sitting in my house, just still trying to figure out a location and stuff, you know.
Exactly.
But I just asked. I mean, the worst is she could say no, I don't want to, and then I'm just in the same boat. But it's like I just think we just need to like just ask, and just, you'd be really surprised. I think artists in general, they tend to be more introverted anyway when it comes to that type of, I don't know. I think in West Virginia especially, there's a lot that people just, they think they constantly like judge them. But like, I mean, I've had multiple people on this podcast where I'm talking to them. I was like, yeah, no, I've been following you for a very long time. It's the reason why I want to have this conversation, because it's like, I love your work, in a sense. Like, it's like I've seen you grow. I've seen you, do this and do this. And they're like, oh, I didn't even know I didn't even know I was in the same realm as you. I was like, what?
Me all the time.
Yeah.
That is that is the epitome of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
other creatives, I feel like I mean, I'm old, like, dude, I'm always searching. If I see something that catches my eye, I go all the way through their profile. I look at them. I look at all their socials. I look at them because I want to see the growth and stuff. I want to see somebody that's like really out there, like, want to be that better, artist and stuff. And, but I'm like, yeah, I'll follow you. I don't care and stuff. But I've had multiple, and they're just like, yeah, I didn't even know you was in the same like thought as I was like, what? That makes no sense to me and stuff. So like, I think we get it a lot as comparing ourselves, and you even said too, you was like, like 80% of your work's not even online.
No, it's a big problem. And just to speak to that, it's like working on that, like it's a thing that I've been like constantly not battling my mind, but like I said, like I got just like kind of just like rocket launched in from like the most secluded place to like everyone has to collaborate here, which is what I always wanted. The funny thing is that I used to always say I wanted to go to New York City because I loved just like the thought of tall buildings, a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I think I found the nice medium in LA. Like, I think I just like the sunsets better and less people and just more of nature. But yeah, I'm actually going to New York for the first time next month.
Okay.
So that's going to be really dope.
Do you follow Heather Christine Photos?
I don't think I do.
She's from this area as well. She does some. I mean, she's an amazing photographer. I had her on the last episode, and I was really bummed though because one of the mics didn't work. So like the audio, I still posted it because it was still a good episode, but I was just like, I was so bummed. I was wanting like crystal clear, but it was a 2-hour episode, and we talking about like everything. But she does these amazing styled shoots all over the country. So she's going to be up in Oregon pretty soon in July at Cannon Beach. Like that's, I mean. There's so many like movies that's been shot there and stuff, and music videos. It's so cinematic within itself. But she's planning another one in November in Joshua Tree.
Oh, dope! Yeah, Joshua Tree.
That's like a bucket list place for me. So like I already told her, I was like, "Yep, I'm saving up. It's already good. Like I'm booked. I'm in there and stuff." But that's something. It's like it'll be like a 3-4 day thing, I believe. But what's good is like it'd be videographers, it'd be photographers and everything, and she always has like the best models and stuff and like props and everything. It's so good. I'll have to show you her page and stuff. She's definitely worth a follow, and she's so nice. She's one that, to be honest, whenever I was in this area, I was super intimidated by her, and then I just was like introduced myself, and then it was like she's one of the nicest people ever. So I'm just like,
oh yeah, no, definitely.
It's
you have to make the connection.
Mind blowing how we get this mindset of thinking, oh yeah, like that person hates me or that person thinks, and I'm just like, oh, that's not the case at all.
I kind of feel like it kind of sucks because I've been away for so long. Like I'm kind of just so tapped out of like the whole creative industry here. But the great thing is just like in 3 years I've seen it grow like 10x, and just people just like a podcast like this. Like if I had a podcast like this like 4 years ago, I don't know what I would be talking about. I was a little child. I don't know what I would be talking about. But yeah, just during that time, there wasn't any presence or people just like kind of sticking their head out saying, hey, I'm doing this. Like, hey, like I'm also in this creative. I had several talks with Film Addicts, a couple. They're a film business in Charleston. They might have moved somewhere, but
I think they're still here.
They're still here. Okay, great. Yeah, I know. I just spoke to Mason. Sorry, Ben. Mason used to be his Instagram tag. I don't want to mess that up. I didn't mess that up. But Ben. That's because there's another Ben. I have to explain this. So Ben from Film Addicts, there's also a Ben in what is the other? There's another film group out here, Mountain Craft.
Yeah,
Mountain Craft.
that's
There's
who
also
recommended
Ben,
me. Yeah.
and I had
Yeah.
2 interviews with both Bens
Yeah.
in the same week. So I'm sorry if I crossed them up.
He had good things to say about you. He really did.
I really appreciate it.
yeah.
I had a great talk with him as well.
Ben and I go back a few years, probably 6 or 7 years now, and we have just been we'll hit like each other up every like 6 months or something. We'll have a nice little like vent session, and then we'll just go on and start creating something else. But like him and I had a camera, the shutter actually broke on it, and the sensor was completely shattered, and I was just like, it was a very terrible time because 6 months before that, my car got broken into, my drone, hard drive, all that stuff got taken, which is on me. It's a learning curve because I'm just like, I know.
I hate to hear that for you, sir.
I got the camera, and then the camera broke, and then so he knew about it, and so he reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, I got this camera. It was a Canon Mark II," and he was like, "We're upgrading all of our stuff anyway, so like, but he was like, I'll give you like a good price on it. You can just do payments." So I was like, "Dude, thank you so much." I had no idea who this guy was or anything like that. I just kind of like reached out to him, and we've been friends like ever since. And he's actually going to be on the podcast next month.
Oh, so dope!
I'm super excited to hear about his side of things because the film festival that he just launched last year,
right?
Is a great thing for West Virginia, and I really hope it can like continue to grow and stuff. But just to kind of like talk to him, because like him and I feel like we have like good mindsets about things, and we've been in. So, but yeah, I reached out to him because I was like, hey, I'm trying to like book some more people. Here's my list. And he was like, well, your list is pretty much my list. The only person that's not on there is this guy named Jonah. I was like, bet and stuff. And I followed. I told him, I was like, yep, send a message already and stuff. So,
dope.
But yeah, that's cool. Man. That's cool.
Yeah, I met Ben back in either 2019 or 2020. And yeah, we just had a dope conversation about like what I wanted to do and everything like that. And that was still just at a time where I was just presently saying, yeah, I mean, I'll probably just end up in Los Angeles. Just like doing photography or videography in some sense like that. But yeah, I guess I was speaking it into presence before it even like happened, which was nuts. But
that's cool. So, let's see. We've talked about. I was going to ask you this and stuff. Do you have any favorite directors, like anybody that you see and you're just like,
dude, let's get into it.
Yeah,
this is let's.
I have
get
a few
into
too, so I want to see if like they kind of match up.
Let me kill the whole thing here. It's been a running thing.
Okay.
A very running thing. Every cinematographer that asked me that is puzzled because I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't watch movies. I don't watch movies at all. I cannot tell you 5 directors to save my life right now. I don't watch movies.
Yeah.
Like there are serious movies that I seriously haven't seen. Like I just watched Interstellar.
Okay.
Maybe a year ago.
Yeah, that's top
Love
10,
it. I mean,
yeah.
That's a great film. But yeah, just watch that.
Yeah.
Just literally seen Matrix a month ago. I mean, I saw it when I was a child, obviously, but like I remember the scenes, but just to actually just watch it again. I literally don't watch movies.
One of my favorite things on YouTube is watching people watch stuff for like the first time. Like that's like my trash television. Like I don't know why I'm addicted to it, but like I've watched a lot of movies because when I was growing up, we didn't have a cable or television or anything. All we had was we had VHS tapes and we had DVDs.
Of course.
So we like my parents if we went and got a new movie we knew that's what we was doing that night. You know what I mean? Like so like a $5 thing, like $5 movie in the at the Walmart bin or whatever and stuff. And then when you're growing up, I was like, yep, I got $5, I can get a new movie and stuff. Because the $5 at we had a dollar store right beside it. It had like this movie rack and stuff. $5 was for like the new releases. At $2.50 or something was like the old like B movies pretty much,
right,
and stuff. So I would like when I was like 10 or 11, I was like out there like mowing yards and stuff, and I was like, yep, I'm gonna get some movies. I'm gonna do this, and because that was the only form of entertainment. We didn't have internet because we had dial-up, so it'd take you 20 minutes just to load anything and stuff. So
I
like,
got the cusp
yeah,
of all of that
yeah,
happening. I'd say like maybe like a 3 to 4 year
yeah. Yours was
of
from
that happening.
DVD to Blu-ray. It was
Literally, like
it
I
was-
just started seeing Blu-ray, and
yeah,
I was probably like 6 or 7. I was like, what
Mhm.
is this?
Yeah,
And we're still on like RCA color TV. Like
yeah.
we're still like the big joint, like the massive TV that just like took up like
Yeah,
a
I know
whole
what you're talking. It's
couch.
just like a black
The
box.
CRT,
It's just
yeah,
massive and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we had those. It was like
And we thought when
Blu-ray.
we had those, we thought we was like, yeah, we got money.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like, no.
And then years later, maybe 3 or 4 years later, here comes flat screens.
Yeah.
And everything like that. But yeah, Blu-ray was like right on my like 6, 7.
It's insane. I have a 55-inch TV. I just bought a new one because the one I had, I bought it in college. It lasted me 13 years, I think, is when. Yeah, 13 years. And it broke during Christmas, right before Christmas.
Oh dang.
And I told my wife, I was like, dude, we got like so much. That was my first thing I bought with my very first paycheck in college was that TV. I just wanted a good TV, and I was like, oh, I'm going big. I'm getting, a 55-inch TV, and for a dorm room, it was massive. It was like, and stuff. But I was once you go that big and you watch movies from something that big, I was like, I'm never going back to anything smaller than that.
Yeah, no, that was the same in my case. I got another 55-inch, but like I didn't watch movies, so I was like, everything I wanted to watch, I just looked up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I'm a podcast person. Like I like listening passively to things. Not like I don't like in my teen years, I loved learning on YouTube. And then I think in my adult years, it's just like passive, not too much. Like I'm not too much on entertainment, but a lot of just like passive interviews and everything like that, just knowledge, information that you can just consume passively without actually like having to look at the screen or anything like that. I'm not talking about like driving, but just like passive things that you can do while you're doing another task.
Yeah. I mean, I listen to Theo Vaughn's podcast almost all the time.
Love Theo Vaughn.
And his stuff is, what I love about it is like he's a genuine, like curious person.
Oh yeah,
he
for sure.
Wants to learn about things, and I feel like that relates. And then he'll just throw in this off the wall like banter, and you're just like, what the heck is going on and stuff. But I mean, he's had people in there in the last 6 months. It's just like I learned more about. He had a garbage man on there from New York City.
Oh wow!
He was talking about it. In 2 hours, I learned more about New York garbage than I ever did in my life. Damn. And I was like, I didn't realize that they get paid like 6 figures. They can retire before like they're 45. Like all this crazy stuff. They have great benefits. Wow. And I also learned that no one. They have a lottery of you have to sign up for the lottery. If you get picked for the lottery, then you have to take the test. If you pass the test, then you can become the garbage man.
Oh wow!
And people just think that these is just like nah and stuff. And the guy was like very New York. I mean, he had a thick accent and stuff, and he was just like, nah, man. He's like, it's a cult pretty much. It's like it's this. We run things up there. And he was just saying I mean, I just learned so much. But I was just like, I would have never known that if it wasn't just like, Theo's podcast was bringing some. He had a Carney on the other day. He's talking about like that. He had a guy on there that he studied like near-death experiences for the last 25 years.
Oh, wow.
I'm just like, that's
crazy. Theo has a crazy like wide variety of audience that he can like tap into. It's actually nuts to see.
Yeah, and then he's just this I don't even think he really asks questions. He just pretty much like talks. So that's why I'm trying to I'll like dissect his podcast and be like, okay, I need to like figure this out. Well, the very first one I did was like 30 minutes, and Autumn Collette, she's like a really good photographer and mentor of mine and stuff, and I told her, I was like, you're gonna be the first one, so this is gonna be like a huge test on it. But it's like I look back at that, so this is the 10th episode too, so like even in just 10 I've learned how to like just little things, like we was holding the mics so the very first one. Now we got stands. I didn't have anything.
It's knowledge like that.
It's the little things that I just want to my goal for this too is like I want to have 3 cameras. I want to have one on me, one on you, and then like a wide one that's always like we can split right down the middle if we need to. And I want it to, I mean, honestly, have like a producer in a sense where they're just doing like behind the scenes stuff. They're doing like they're writing down good moments where I'm just like, when I go in and edit, I don't have to like search for it. I can be like, oh, that's a clip. They can literally say like, you said something like this around this moment and stuff. Like I want that type of feel and stuff. But that's the thing we've talked about, like, you know, even just a set, like something this small, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And people
for
just
sure.
like, oh no, you're just sitting there on the couch and talking. Like I'm trying to like explain to like my mom about what a podcast is. She thought that the 30-minute one was like very long, and I was like, that's actually pretty short.
Yeah, no.
So,
people go for hours.
she was like, I don't think you need to talk that long. I was like,
actually, you need to talk less.
Yeah. So it's just, but it's okay though because I did a shoot yesterday. Actually, it was up at Cooper's Rock. It was an engagement shoot. They actually had a 78 Cadillac, I think, in theirs, and we did like this really cool like vintage theme and stuff. And the girl, she was talking about it, and she was like, oh, how's full time going? And I was like, oh, it's great. Like I'm doing this. I mean, I started a podcast. She's like, oh yeah, I've been listening to it. It's really great. I was like, what? I was like, I was like, does it make sense? She's like, no, it's like, I've learned a lot. And I was like, so like that kind of like really surprised me. She was like talking about like her favorite episodes and stuff like that. And I was just like, I thought about that almost all the way home. Cause I'm just like, that was such a cool moment because that wasn't even my audience. And then that's now my audience, you know what I mean? So
right.
And it's hitting people because now she's being introduced to like people that she would never, you know before and stuff. And I just think it's cool. I think it's just like, there's so many artistic people and creative people in West Virginia that they just need to have a platform, or they just need somebody to just be like, no, you're talented. Go out and do something. You know what I mean? Like
I think I get that more here, to be honest. Yeah. And in just like the month I've been back, I guess I didn't quite realize how many eyes were on me back here. I was just so focused on.
Well, no, like. Think about how many people like leave, but they leave, and I mean, LA's far, dude. Like this, it's on the other side of the country,
literally.
So like when people make that move, it makes ripples, like because people, it's like, why, how, or like, is he doing good, or what's he doing back, and like, and at the end of the day, people are just nosy too, and they don't mind their business. But there is this like few that sees that growth, and they're just like, oh wow, like that is like good and stuff, but. I mean, I've been here my whole entire life, and I'm just like, I could leave, like my wife and I could both leave, but it's just like, I want to really put West Virginia on the map on like a positive mindset, in my mindset at least, because it has its moments, but it's like, I don't know. There's so much to create. There's so many like. We have great locations.
Yeah, and I think right now it's actually kind of changing, because I think there's a refreshing note I could leave you with, which is saying like, I think Hollywood is cracking at its seams, like in the sense that like there's a lot like just the whole writer's strike and everything like that. There's still a lot of people affected, not in a good way through that, whatever they signed. You know what I'm saying? There's still like, it's actually still kind of treacherous out in Hollywood, but just I think that's slowly changing, and it's opening up just a very large space that hasn't been opened up in a very long time for any part of the country to kind of capitalize on more of creativity and everything like that.
Yeah. Kind of like switching subjects on this and stuff, but talking about like LA and New York and stuff, is there any other cities that you think that you could like excel in when it comes to like your type of work?
Yeah, no, that's I think that's what I'm gonna take this year and see, because I think I've been in the surrounding states of West Virginia, and just through passing, like Colorado maybe. I mean, I have been to Colorado, but like I've been like maybe a day or two through there. But yeah, they're in California. So there's a lot of places I still have not visited. So
do you follow Jayhawk on YouTube or anything like
Jayhawk.
that? He
doesn't sound too familiar.
He is a photographer, videographer out of Chicago, and he works for Ghost like Energy. And I love his vlogs and the way he storytells. He does a really great job of breaking down stuff. Definitely, you would love his channel when it comes to, because he shoots mainly on Sony. That's another reason why like I follow him and stuff. So like but he was invited to like the Sony launch and everything like that.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, he's making waves on YouTube for sure. But the way he storytells and the way he breaks down like gear and just like his everyday life and stuff, it's just like, you know, you see things and it's got me thinking. I was like, man, like Chicago might be it. And it's like even Charlotte too. Like I just recently asked my wife, I was like, what do you think about like North Carolina? Because like I feel like North Carolina is like one of the perfect states that they have like rural, urban, and like beach and coastal, like all in
for
one.
sure.
So like you can be like, oh yeah, I can do a you know, a family shoot at the beach, or I could do a wedding there, or no, I can do like a, you know, backwoods, you know, yeehaw wedding over here, you know, like or I can do an urban and luxury style in Charlotte. Like you have these so many options and stuff. I'm just like, I feel like that would be such a good place to establish if you're a creative, especially one that you know you're going to go into more of a commercialized field where you're going to be like, okay, this is what I'm going to be shooting all the time. But seeing as like West Virginia is like so interesting because you have all these surrounding states, and then you have like Charleston is like right smack dab, you know, in the southern middle, and you're just like, where do you go from there? You know, like I have a lot of shoots from like in Huntington. I drove to Fairmont this last weekend at Morgantown, but it's like, I drove that one day. You're driving 6 hours.
Yeah, I literally just did that. Yeah, I was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a drive for sure.
And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, man, is it worth it? And I was like, no, I know it's worth it, but is it, you know, like the return on revenue? Is this going to get something? But you really don't know until you post it. But I was working on those photos earlier today from the one that was up at Cooper's Rock, and I
amazing,
think
by the way.
Yeah,
I did see that.
Yeah, like I'm going to be like focused. I focused a lot more on just the details of things, and I'm trying to get better at that, like telling a story more of the details than the people, you know, and not so much not focusing on them, but man, it's like they had it was really cool. They had 8-track tapes, and one of the 8-tracks was actually their song that they're going to pick for their wedding video too. Ooh. So it all played into like this. I was like, oh, that is perfect, and stuff. So and then he said the clock didn't work, and it was on the car had like you had to set it by like a turn and everything. So they put it to their date because they're getting married on August 11th, which is also their anniversary. So like 8/11 is like their day and stuff. So like they put it on 8/11. So like I have like all these little details coming together and stuff. And I was like editing. I was like, ooh, I said, this is worth it because it's like,
you love it when something comes together.
Yeah.
It's always.
Yeah. The process to me is just so much more important than the finished piece. Like I want to sit there, I want to struggle in a sense and be like, how can I put you in a spot that makes you look good? How can I put the light? How can I do this? And then when it clicks, like it clicks, and you're just like, I got it, you know, and stuff. And I always tell all my clients, I was like, I'm gonna start off rusty, but like I just have to like dissect the scene, kind of like look at you. I'm just like, I know it might like I'm terrible at explaining stuff, but once it's flowing, by the end we're gonna have some great ones. And stuff.
Oh
and
yeah, no,
it happens every time.
That's every time, because I mean, the whole sentiment of like, what goes wrong will go wrong is a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that happened pretty much on not every shoot, but like in just maybe a minor sense and some correction. Like there's always going to be room for error and margin for that. And yeah, like you really just do learn how to learn on the fly and like just go with it with the flow. And some of it was really nerve-wracking going into, but yeah, no, you really just get like pulled into the deep end and just see how you survive. That's how I pretty much take it.
I used to hate it, but now I'm for it because when I went full time just like 2 months ago, I was just like, I want to do it. I want to try it. I mean, the worst can happen is like, I know I'm not going to be like homeless. I know I'm not going to be like out there on the curb, you know, like I know that like you never want to get to there, but it's like, I know with like my work ethic and what I want to do and what I want to accomplish, I was like, I'm not going to get there, you know, like I'll figure it out, you know, and I'll get through it. And like my wife is a great supporter of it, and she'll, we'll, you know, work through it together. But it's like, I just didn't want to wake up and then it was like, man, I'm still part-time. I got to go do this and I can't like create. And cause I did that for, you know, 8-10 years now as a side hustle. And I'm just like, I hate telling people no when I know I can like create something really, really good for them.
Oh, dude, that's every time, literally. And I think that's that's probably what I've seen is one of my biggest strengths is just time. That, like in general, you don't have time.
Right.
Like you do not have time. You need to start whatever you're doing now. But in the sense of like, I have learned from other people that I've been around and everything like that, and just how their upbringing was and how struggle is supposed to happen in your life and everything like that. But yeah, I think just like the essence of just being young and just having time on my side, I have times to make the mistakes I do at this level at this certain time and calculated risks and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm just using knowledge that I gained from people older than me and just trying to implement whichever way is possible, at the same time accounting that life just happens at the same and in the same boat.
So yeah, we was talking about directors and stuff earlier. One of my favorite ones is Guy Ritchie. He has done like the new King Arthur. He does like he did like Snatch with like Brad Pitt back in the day. He has like this really, so he'll tell a story and it's more like a comedy side of it. It's like comedy action, but it's all like all of his is like rated R. But he also did like The Gentleman. He did with that had like Matthew McConaughey and Charlie Hunnam and all those guys and stuff in it. But like I love the way he does it because like he leads you up to this plot and then he tells a story on like 3-4 different perspectives, and then but you think that they're all talking at each other, so it's just like I don't know. It reminds me a lot of the Who's on First sketch. You know, when they're like, oh, who's on first, why, when, you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
So it kind of has that vibe, but more rated R and action packed and stuff to it. But like I love it because, and then he also does this shot all the time where it was like really big in like I would say like the 2000s for like actions and stuff. It's like it looks like a GoPro that's like just extended out, and if you're just like running down the hall, it's just like got that like main
definitely seen
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he'll do that one like at least once in all of his movies, and like in a chase scene and anything like
I've
that.
definitely seen those. Yes. Yeah.
And he's like really known for it. He even did it in King Arthur. They was like going down through like the castle and they're running from each other and stuff, and he even did it on that. So like he's putting that style on like a medieval, I don't know, it's just cool. I think he's like one of my favorite. And then one of my buddies, he hates it when I say this and stuff, but like I like Michael Bay, and like I like all of his stuff. Like I just I'm a sucker for lens flare, and just like the way he does it is just like when you realize what he's doing and stuff too, you're just like, this is almost kind of cheesy in a way, and you're just like, what the heck am I watching? And then, but it works. I'm just like, well, he got me hooked for like 2 hours, and 5 Transformer movies later, you're just like, oh yeah, this is good. But my wife hates those movies. But like, one of my favorite movies of all time has been Armageddon. Have you watched that?
I have not.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on this one because the cast is amazing. You have Owen Wilson, you have Ben Affleck, you have Bruce Willis, you have Michael Duncan, you have Steve Buscemi. Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh wow.
There's a lot, and then that whole soundtrack. Aerosmith does the soundtrack. for it. So it's just like, I don't know. For the 90s, it's top tier. At least has to be one of the best 90s movies, because I think it came in 98 and stuff. And dude, it was just one of my favorites. I love it every single time it's on. And the effects and the CGI on it. I mean, it wasn't CGI, but it was just like visual effects and stuff. Like, all of that was just like above and beyond his time for being a 1998. Eddie Griffin is in it. Like, like it's, dude, is insane and stuff.
Dude, it's like that. I just need to go and study.
I'll give you a list,
movies,
man.
I
have,
because it's an actual problem, because I can't keep up in conversation. Like, I could probably name, like, out of those actors you just named, I know 2 of them, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
And I know it's a problem, and I struggle with that every time. But yeah, no, I think it's like it's an attention span type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, knowing that I'm sitting down somewhere committed for 2 hours is not something I usually do. So it's just,
see, that was like that started out when I was super early, when I was younger, because I talked about the DVDs. Like, we didn't pause in our house. Like, we could.
Oh, right.
My parents did not allow that. They said, if you're gonna sit down, you're gonna watch it.
Dang.
So I think when I was younger, I got into a mindset, when I start a movie, I'm in it. You know, like, and that's how I am. Like, I hate pausing something now. Like, it's for me, it's just annoying, because I'm just like, I'm not going back. I'm into it.
That makes
sense. I already know the story and stuff like that. And but no, my wife and I, we even did a thing. We haven't done it in a while, but during COVID, we did it a lot. We would pick 2 movies at random, and then out of the 2 movies for each other, that's what we was going to watch that night. So we was going to watch 2 movies, 4 picks, you know.
Ooh, that's a 4-hour. I'm looking at a 4-hour commitment from that.
Pretty much, but it was like in COVID.
But not every movie is 2 hours. But yeah,
what else did you do? You know,
for sure.
So I put her on to some stuff, and then I had to watch some things that she wanted to watch. But like, it also was like, oh, this is kind of good. I'll be honest with you, like, that was the first time I watched Brokeback Mountain.
Oh wow.
Okay, so like, that movie had a whole bunch of criticism with, you know, a whole different. West Virginia was not open to that type of conversation anyway. But like, that was the first time, and I was like, that was actually like shot beautifully. Like, I was like, that was amazing and everything. And
it's amazing art out there.
And that's what like I liked about it, because I was like, I would have never just watched it by myself or anything like that. But you know, Heath Ledger in it, you know, did amazing, and Jake Gyllenhaal and stuff did too. I mean, the whole cast was like probably like 10 people, you know, and so it was like you're telling a whole story with 2 people pretty much through the whole movie. I was like, you have to have good writing, have to have like good direction to do that and stuff.
I literally just filmed a short film over the last summer, where it was like a 10-person cast.
Yeah.
Student film, hotel murder mystery, who's the murderer, you know what I'm saying, type of plot. But no, shout out, you know, Keyshawn and Tyrell as the student film directors. They put the whole script together. Yeah. But yeah, no, it ended up being almost a 50 minute. Is it on YouTube or anything? It is not. They just decided to just submit it to festivals and everything like that. They're probably gonna put it on streaming sometime soon. Okay. But yeah, it was just me pretty much filming and lighting and everything like that. They wanted to go like a more classical look, so we did it on a camcorder at the time. So like that was the grain. It was in black and white, so we had that vibe going on as well. But yeah, just being in that environment and just like seeing the script and seeing that it was pretty much just 2 characters, kind of like it was like a lot of dialogue and a lot of like just more intimate, personal, just more just scenes like that where it was more like that. And the writing they did in that script. I mean, that was like a 50-page script. And they absolutely killed it, because just to be able to perfectly visualize everything that they're writing out. And these are just two people that are also my age, 23 in that range as well. So it was very nice to be a part of that in that sense, and just them trust me with their script and visualize it.
Yeah, I love that. This just I don't know. My mind's going like a mile a minute right now. Like I'm just like so. I just love it. I love hearing the fact that there's people out there just like I don't want to say like in the trenches, but it's like just willing to like do things like that and stuff. Because like,
it's all over. Yeah, no, that was my first time experiencing it.
Yeah. I gotta put you on some movies, man. I really do.
Please.
Have you watched the Hateful Eight?
No.
So the Hateful Eight is really good because it's also based on a play. Mm-hmm. So the whole entire scene, there's two scenes, like locations and stuff. One's in the stagecoach, and the other is in this not tavern, but like a trading post. Mm-hmm. And it's during a blizzard, and there's like probably they don't even do like crazy like close-ups or anything. Quentin Tarantino directs it.
Okay, I know him.
Dude, like it's just what I liked about it. Like it's very long, but the end of it, it's like what the hell just happened, man? Like it's just mind blowing. And then you realize the whole entire thing has just been in this room. They've been talking to each other in just this one room and stuff. And I was like, to be a director and be like to find cast members is also like that versatile and like to portray emotion and stuff. I was like, man, that's a really cool part of it and stuff. And trying to think of there's a lot of movies out there that does that. I feel like I'm forgetting one that's like really
one I may know that's funny that does the plot twist, right? I might get this wrong. Doesn't M. Night Shyamalan do some?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, I've heard that name. I didn't want to get it wrong, so
his stuff is.
I might have seen a movie or two.
I don't know
the name, but
in my mindset, I feel like I have to be like drunk or like high to enjoy it in a sense. But he's doing it. I mean, he's trippy. He just did. What was that one that just won a whole bunch of awards? Shoot. I literally, I'm thinking of it, but he directed that one, and that put him back more on the map. And then he has another one coming out. He's doing that one. Have you seen the? Oh, shit, man, this is driving me insane now. Is it Josh Hartnett? I think is his name. I don't know. He plays a dad, and there's a kid, and they're at a concert, and M. Night's at it. But I think the whole plot twist is like he's a serial killer, and he's trying to hide the fact that he is. I don't know. He's killing people at this concert. I don't know. It's all over the trailer. You're just like, what the heck is going on? I butchered that guy's name. I don't think it's. I think it's Hartnett, Josh Hartnett.
A lot of directors' names be hard, man.
Yeah, I don't know. There, I'll make a list, man. I'll make a list of like at least like ones that you've got to like filmmaking wise at least and stuff. And then there's some that's just like cool. You're like, oh yeah, that's the cool. But like filmmaking wise, there's definitely a list that you can go for.
Because like traditional, like a lot of traditional terms I don't know, but just as well, just like cinematography wise, like there's a lot of stuff I haven't seen that like.
You watched 1917?
No.
One of the best cinematographers out there. Mm-hmm. He does. I forget his name because he does a lot with Christopher Nolan. Him and Hans Zimmer, which Hans Zimmer does all the audio for a lot of Christopher Nolan. Like Hans Zimmer has done like The Lion King, the Dark Knight series, Interstellar. He just did Oppenheimer. He did Dunkirk. All these like big cinematic pieces and stuff. And he always does it with like Nolan and stuff too. But the cinematographer, there was like a whole like 30-minute documentary on Netflix about it. But there's an opening scene where a soldier is at he's just like writing in his journal and stuff, and then they get bombed, and it doesn't go off of him the whole time. He gets up and he runs across the battlefield. He goes into the trenches. He goes into the thing.
Yes.
He goes in, talks to the generals. He turns. The camera doesn't take the eye off of him, but that goes in 360. And when they comes on the other side, he's exiting, so he's following him now. Dude, you're just sitting there. You're just like, you're watching it for 6-7 minutes straight, and you feel like you are part of the scene. And I'm just like, and the behind the scene of it, when they was talking about, was insane. They had a plan for like 30 days before this shot, because they had, pyros going off. They had people extra. They had over 100 extras that was there just for the soldiers and
That's
stuff.
nuts.
And they had horses running across and stuff. So like, you're talking about everybody having a job, like that's the scene that everyone has to have a job for.
A whole orchestra. And beautiful.
It was just, it started at evening, and then by the time it was done, it was night, and they was going to the city. So like, not only in 10-15 minutes it showed that you are going to a location, but now the time's changing as well. Man. And you're just like, it was so calm. He was sitting there. There was flowers. He's just writing in his notebook. He's talking to his best friend, and pop, and just goes off, and you're just like, what the heck? But he does that like 4 or 5 times in that whole entire movie, where there's just shots, and then, I mean, it's just insane. It's insane. I don't even know what happened in the movie. Like, I don't know what the plot is. I was looking at everything else, like, I'm just like, it's a war movie, so there's a lot of action and stuff like that, but I see those shots. I mean, even like Saving Private Ryan, that's one.
Right.
Okay, so even that one, for when it came out, it was one of the best war movies ever created, because of their opening scene of them kind of like storming the beaches right there. It was so graphic and so like in your face and so like shot raw that people was just like, there was veterans that watched it during the screening that was like, this is a lot happening. This is it, So I don't know. I think that's just pretty impressive, though. I mean, I feel like I could sit here and talk about movies and stuff literally all day, though. But you asked me anything about like songs or music, I have no idea at all. That's what my wife, she can tell me lyrics or songs of like from years, but she doesn't know anything about movies, so we kind of like complement each other pretty well. I'll be singing something, she's amazing. Like, that's not the lyrics whatsoever. Like, you need to chill. And I was like, what do you mean? It doesn't go like this? She's like, it's not even remotely close. I was like, and we'll be we'll be watching something in the movies, and she's like, are you sure that we haven't watched this? I was like, we're literally in the theaters right now. Like, I know. And I was like, I know we haven't watched it.
Where's the year?
Like, we'll see previews. She's like, I think they made one like this before. I was like, no, this is the first, one that they've ever done. So we definitely we complement each other on that mindset.
No, that's a little yin and yang moment right there. I love that. Love that.
Well, Jonah, is there anybody else that you kind of like notice that you would like to shout out, or any other creatives? And they don't have to be in West Virginia. They can be a little bit anybody. I try to give this opportunity to kind of like put them on a kind of
put them on a I'd like to shout out locally wise. Love to shout out Waymakers Collective. They've done a lot for me in the past 3 years. Mm-hmm. They're an organization based in West Virginia and just like surrounding Appalachia that funds like individual artists, like even organizations as well, I believe. But yeah, they're just a collective that funds different art projects and everything like that through grants.
Okay.
And they've been like just really super helpful. Sorry. And just like grateful for like everything that I've been doing, and just like a big part of everything that I've been able to do, creative wise. And I wouldn't be able to do the things I've done without their support and everything like that. So just like the collective that I've been just like kept in touch with, throughout my years in LA has been them. Right. Just supporting me in any way they can, just like through grants and connections and everything like that. Who else would I like to shout out? Re-rate Dogs. Shout out Re-rate Dogs. Sorry, Re-rate Dogs is a Twitter account, an Instagram account. They're all over. They're a social media account that you send them a picture of your dog, and they rate it. They rate the dog. So it's like, I think anything that's always above 10 out of 10, but it's like anything at 15 out of 10. So you might get 12, 10, or 12, 13, 14 out of 10. And yeah, they've gone stupid viral. I think they have 10 million on Twitter and like 8 million on Instagram. They're actually the people who brought me out to LA. I came in as their in-house videographer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
Dude, that's super cool.
Matt Nelson we're super tight. Been to his Christmas dinners and everything like that. So yeah, no, another Charleston native as well. He actually went to GW. I learned all this at I was
did not
there
know
when I learned that.
Because I know exactly what the account and everything.
Yeah, Matt Nelson. Yeah.
And he went to GW.
Went to GW. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, me and him. I just did some BTS work for his project with Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
They just shot a couple months back, and I was there with Matt and Jennifer Garner doing
so
BTS, and just like the surreal moment of just so many West Virginia people just in that room.
Dude, that's amazing.
It was amazing. It was really amazing.
I never knew that at all. I thought for sure he was from like New York or LA or something like that.
No, Matt's a Charleston native.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Where's he at now? Is he in LA?
Yeah, he's in LA. Yeah.
Does he ever come back or anything?
Yeah. No, he's super active here. Yeah.
I got a dog. I want my dog to be featured.
Send it in.
I love that, dude. That's insane. That's a really awesome thing to learn and stuff.
That's
because I knew about Jennifer Gardner because like we worked with her, and Brad Paisley a lot and for tourism and stuff.
Oh, dope
stuff. I never got to work with them. I worked with their team. So I was always like, but it was just like if anyone asked, be like, yeah, we worked with them.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? But one of my buddies, he was the event coordinator for, he still is actually, and he goes to a lot of like tourism events and stuff, but Brad Paisley shot, I don't know if it's been released yet because it was shot last year, but it was down in Beckley at the coal mine museum and stuff. He's shot a music video, and my buddy was sitting there, and he's just like, he's sitting in the truck, he's like, yeah, Brad Paisley's like,
oh wow,
like 50 feet away from me, like recording right now.
That's amazing.
I was like, dude, that is cool. So he was like living a moment and stuff. So that was really neat. But tourism was like a really awesome job. I enjoyed it a lot. And then I had an opportunity to leave that, and then I left the other opportunity for this opportunity. So, but tourism, I think, out of the whole entire professional career, like I learned more like for my photography through that job than any of them, because of just like editing and working with bigger brands and understanding that I would get super stressed about my work. And then when you work with someone and be like, no, this vendor has paid like so much money for a 10-second video, you need to put it out right now.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, well, that's not my best work. And then it's just like, we don't care. Like, put it out, run it. And I'm just like, so that put me in a nice mindset of thinking, whatever I create may not be, chosen to go out. So like I edited a lot of videos that never saw the light of day for tourism. I didn't get hurt about it or anything. I just was like, okay, this is how it needs to run and stuff like that.
Right.
And then you kind of get better and better. I don't think a lot of younger creators kind of like see it in that mindset. I think they look at it as like, oh, like they can't take the criticism and be like, okay, like this needs to be critiqued because of this business. They have to like, they think it's a personal shot. And I'm just like, once I understood it was nothing personal, it was like, no, you're talented. They just don't want that. You know? And I was
Show's
just like,
got to run. Show's got to run.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've run into a lot of tight spots like that where like it's, they don't mean to classify it, but I mean, it's just business.
It is, yeah. Yeah. But then you look back and you're just like, yeah, I'm really glad that they didn't choose that. And it's like good. I think my biggest moment in my professional career so far is Good Morning America did a spot on New River Gorge, and I had to edit the B-roll for it that was played.
Dope.
So I got a screenshot of it when it was played and stuff, and they came and that was really cool because we even had a watch party and stuff in the office, and there was like 20 of us there, and we're watching it, and when you see something that you just edited, and you're just like,
oh no,
cool.
That's a very good
Cool.
accomplishment.
So that's probably like the biggest piece. But when people look at it and stuff too, like they're just like, oh, they don't know where it came from. But it was like me, I was like, yeah, I had stuff on Good Morning America. Like I put that on my resume and check it out.
That's how I feel with my vault. It's like I know I have some dope stuff in my vault. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a little self-critical for sure. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm a little self-critical, so. Naturally, like you were saying, in all creatives, that happens, and a little bit more of introvertedness and everything like that. But I think I just want to be the pioneer of just showing somebody what it's like to be able to show somebody that's going through that at the same time. Like, somebody that's trying to, like, somebody that's from the same place you are from, probably used to think in certain ways that you are thinking, and just trying to be the product of a person that can go to the other side, which is being more just a sociable person, and more able to just post on social media without any type of, opinion about it self-critically wise or anything like that. And I think that's just what I want to be a main proponent of, and that's what's for the future for me, at least. I think I do want to get to a point where 80% of the vault I'm saying does get released in just a new sense, that I just start creating content. Because like I said, I think I started out by creating in ways that I wanted to create and just playing around with it. Then immediately thrown into a situation where I had to tell people, hey, I'm paying or hey, I'm charging you for this work. So I had to jump from it being a hobby and like being in my mind knowing that this is what I wanted to do, but also just like, okay, now like you got to pay bills. Like, so you got to get to a point where this is something worth charging, So like just going through every single step like that, just going through adulthood. I went through adulthood in Los Angeles, just learning how to be adult, just thrown into that immediately. But yeah, I think most of that, what kills you, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
No, so, I definitely agree. I definitely think that's some wise outlook on that too and stuff. That's why I'm so excited, because it's just like 5 years from now, dude.
Oh, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Gonna be fun.
And I know it, and I understand that, and I just, because I'd see where I am in 5 years. I do, to the point where it's kind of scary. But at the same time, just realizing everything has a place, and every step is extremely important, and every misstep is extremely important as well. And just learning that, that's just the way life goes. It's kind of nuts, though.
No, Jonah, dude, it's been great. I feel like I've learned a lot, and I hope this is a good opportunity and stuff for you, just kind of like meeting a different audience and stuff too. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up a little bit. Guys, Jonah's, all of his information is going to be located in the description below, including his Instagram and his other socials as well.
Yes.
As always, this podcast is sponsored by Megan Nicole Photography. This is her studio, so anytime that you are looking to schedule like mommy and me pictures, if you want to do maternity pictures, you want to do boudoir, anything like that, or just get like professional headshots, you can go to her website, which is going to be in the description below, and then you can book any type of session that you want. As always, make sure you follow us on our Pull Focus podcast, which is going to be on Twitter. We just started an Instagram and a TikTok as well, because we want to get that content out to a wider audience as well. And then one of the biggest things, if you guys have made it this far in the video, make sure you like and subscribe. It helps us out tremendously. And join our Discord. We have a Discord, which I haven't even told you about this yet.
Oh, no, I'm just hearing about this.
So Discord, we have a community in there of like probably about 50 or 60 West Virginia photographers and videographers. Yes.
No, that's actually huge, because that's always been a thing. There's been no like actual place where you can. No, that's
we've been trying
huge.
and stuff.
I love that.
We also have that, and then if you have Facebook, we have a Facebook group as well that a lot of people is in there, and then we've been talking. So, yeah, all that links and stuff is going to be located in the description below. As always, guys, never stop creating, and please stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.